What's up, guys? We're going live. Gonna be talking about Slamology. Maybe answer a few tech talk questions. Man, darn it. All right, I'm just waiting on Jerry to get back. As soon as he shows back up, we'll get into it. We're kind of gonna do a little question and answer interview type deal, answering questions about what went on at Slamology this past weekend, how things went. Gonna finish getting all the live stuff set up. Just hang tight for me, guys. He'll be back in just a second. All right. There we go. That works for me. All right, what's up, guys? If you got any questions, go ahead and send them through. We'll try and answer some of y'all's questions as well. I had you a chair.
That one doesn't have arms on it.
Oh.
I'm kind of bougie like that.
All right, I've already got my two going live.
YouTube?
Yeah, we're live on YouTube and we are live on the Facebook.
On the Facebook.
Here we go. Bring this up. Bring this up. Oh, come on, get back to it.
Brian may be joining us. I don't know. I think he had some errands
That's cool.
to run.
I'm trying to remember how to get my comments up on Facebook. I can't see my comments right now. There they go. All right, what's going on, guys? Yep, we got YouTube rolling live. We got Facebook rolling live. We're going to do a little Slamology recap. Talk about what happened at Slamology and the cool stuff that went down. So if you got any questions for us, throw it in there in the comments. You get out of there. I'll be bouncing back and forth between YouTube and Facebook, checking out the questions. I got a little tech talk question coming in right now from River Valley over there on YouTube. And he just says, airspace and tuning for two ZV6 12s. So for basically all of our Mega Roll 12s, whether it's an X, a Z, etc., I recommend around 2.5 feet of net volume per sub. And that's worked really well. Basically for most people that want to buy something with the Mega Roll style, whether it's an X or a Z, they're definitely looking to smash the lows. And if you want to smash the lows, then 2.5 feet for one of those 12s is going to be plenty of net volume.
All right, so you said Slamology.
We said Slamology.
I didn't go to Slamology. Give me a quick rundown. What did I miss? And then I got some follow-up questions because I really wanted to go.
All right. What has happened to my feed?
I don't know.
What's going on? Man, I've been dying to get to Slamology. Everybody should go to Slamology. Slamology is a blast. Something's wrong with my feed here. I don't know what's happened. It's broke. Hold on, I'm trying to do a refresh real quick.
I didn't even know you could refresh a live. That's cool.
Yeah, we got it. There we go. All right, we're up. We're going.
Got you.
So here's what you missed at Slamology. You missed a whole day of rain.
Oh.
That's the first thing I'm going to say. Saturday was awesome. Friday was awesome. We always get there Friday to do vendor check-ins, set up a big booth. Had a massive booth up there. We had, let's see, 2 20-foot tents and a 15. So, yeah, 55 feet in front of our big truck and trailers, a backdrop. Had a humongous booth. Sold a ton of merch. Showed off a lot of cool new stuff. We had an SDDN on display. We had the new U6.5 with that little mini Mega W surround. We had all the new cool stuff on display up there. But, yeah, Friday, hang out, get drunk. Speaking of which, hold on.
Oh, okay.
Hang out, get drunk, have a party. Saturday was a blast. Good weather. It was hot, but not too hot, not miserably hot. Just hot enough to be hot, but comfortable and bearable. So, yeah, Saturday was great. Had a great time. Sunday got rained out, so we actually loaded up everything Saturday night. We didn't get out the track till 9 o'clock Saturday night because we made the decision to just go ahead and shut things down, pack it up, because I would rather have to unpack it Sunday if the weather was nicer than we had predicted. I'd rather have to unpack everything again than have to pack it all up in the rain. Because if you've ever packed up a massive booth and massive truck and trailer like we take there, it's definitely miserable doing it in the rain. I've done that before. I don't ever wish to do it again. So that's the gist of my Slamology trip. Party, get drunk. We went to Top Golf. I don't even remember what night that was. One of those nights. Friday night. Friday night went Top Golf with the Sky High crew, the Limitless crew, Dropping Hurts guys. Had a blast out there. I love Top Golf. I don't like playing golf. I just like eating and drinking.
Understandable. Let's see. Okay, Top Golf. All right. A little off topic, but what happened? Who won?
I don't know. There was a winner. Everybody
You didn't keep score?
Well, Thomas O'Brien almost fell off the platform, so that was kind of cool.
Slamology.
So welcome to Slamology. No, most of the time guys go to Top Golf. We don't play games or keep score. You're just hitting balls. You're just getting drunk and hitting balls. That's it. There's no goal to anything. Speaking of which, we gotta set up a Top Golf around here.
We do.
Have you ever been to Top Golf, Jerry?
Top Golf? No, I've mini golfed a lot. Is that the same?
It's not the same.
Okay,
it's not the same at all.
All right.
I'm horrible at golf, and I'm making no effort to learn to do better at golf because I'm just there to drink.
Understandable. Okay. Let's see. Wait, you said Thomas O'Brien fell?
Thomas, he almost fell. At one point, I know he lost the golf club. Pretty sure that happened.
Okay.
And yeah, he got dangerously close to that edge at Top Golf. There was some shenanigans. I'll leave it at that.
Shenanigans. All right, we'll leave it there. All right, other Slamology questions. Well, let's start with this one. Are you a demo guy?
So
Do you like demos?
I do not like receiving demos. Do I need to elaborate on that?
Yes.
All right, so I'll go way back. Once upon a time, when I used to base race a lot. Base race is a format of competition. And so I used to do 59.9 class from inside the vehicle back then. This was a very long time ago. This is
59?
159.9 dB.
Oh, man.
We would have to average 159.9 over the course of 30 seconds. It is extremely difficult to do. There's plenty of louder builds now that are capable of it. There wasn't very many back then. So going well back 10 plus years ago, one of the first humongous builds I helped do, would base race 159.9. Sitting in the vehicle doing 159.9 runs over and over and over, I gave myself a concussion. So ever since then, I've been a little weary of just sitting in these super loud builds for extended periods of time. Even just getting in, maybe. But basically, what I try to do nowadays, if I'm gonna get a demo, someone like go up, lean in the door, maybe a little bit, or lean in the doorway, get a demo. I'm cool. Getting inside and getting hurt, I'm not into it. It's not my game. Now, another part of this is I have experienced some of the loudest vehicles in the world. I've also helped to build a lot of very loud vehicles. So it takes a little bit extra to impress me. You add that in with the fact I have a very natural resting bitch face. And when I go to get demos from people, they look at me like, I basically look like I'm not enjoying it, even if I am. So on some of the not so painful builds. You know, I've gotten some demos from guys, and I try and groove and look happy, but I have a really bad resting bitch face, and I don't want anybody thinking I'm not enjoying their build. So I just got like, no, it's probably best I just don't get demos and getting into those extreme builds like Steven Duncan's van. That thing's retarded. I've been in his van. I've been in Chris Lee's van. As soon as that high note came in, I just cut it off. Cut it off. Let me out. I'm not doing it. Y'all aren't gonna hurt me.
I can understand that. This is my default move. I normally do this when I'm getting a demo. It works. It's 140 beats per minute.
So I try to sometimes, I think to myself, all right, don't look like I'm having a bad time.
It sounds like a lot of overthinking.
And then I smile, and then I just look like I'm forcing a smile. So I'm like, all right, I don't know what to do here. But it's just my face, guys. I promise. I just have one of those faces.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Do you want to take some questions, or you want more?
No, we can go. Well, Joey's got a cool question here. Weight difference in a regular cone versus carbon fiber. How much will the FS change? I'll answer this question in two parts. So in Project SPL, I ran U18 cones that were epoxy coated. The epoxy coating adds some mass. I have not done an official weight before or after of non-epoxy coated versus epoxy coated. Rough estimate, I think it's about 50 grams-ish or so maybe that epoxy can add to some of the cones. My epoxy coated U18 cones that I ran in Project SPL versus my Dredden carbon fiber cones were near identical in weight. The Dredden cones are pretty hefty. They're very weighty for being carbon fiber. Now, Dave Lieb's cones that DL Designs has, his carbon fiber cones are significantly lighter. I actually have a video I've already shot, haven't got to upload it yet, but we went through and we weighed an assortment of 18-inch cones, including one of Dave's carbon fiber cones and a standard kind of mega roll U18 style. Mm-hmm. So if I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, I believe the full mega roll 18-inch, mega roll V2 18-inch cone was around 440 grams. I think a U18 cone was around 400 grams, but the carbon fiber cone with its different surround, it did not have a mega roll surround on it. But Dave's carbon fiber cone was only 350 grams. So it's a pretty significant weight decrease in his carbon fiber cones, if that's what you're looking for. The main benefit of carbon fiber is going to be your strength. If you get into an issue of where you're shredding paper cones, which is very tough to do. I shredded some initial run U18 cones back in the day. I've never shredded a paper cone on any of my Neos. Even ones that weren't epoxy coated or epoxy coating, I've never shredded a paper cone in there, and that's a 2 sub 170 plus build. But carbon fiber adds a ton of strength. That's its biggest benefit. Other than that, it's looks. That's the main reason I went for the Dredden cones in the red is they were just beautiful cones and they look cool, and figured they'd go off the build well. Now, how much will FS change? I don't have an answer to that one. It's going to depend on, like I said, if you got a mega roll, we're around 440 versus a U cone, we're around 400. There's too many extra variables there. But for the most part, lightweight is going to shift FS up. So if you're a demo guy and you're trying to smash the lows, I don't recommend lightening up your stuff because it's going to shift your FS up and it's not going to smash the lows as well.
Gotcha.
All right, next up. Swapping over to Facebook here, seeing Facebook guys, what's going on? If y'all got any Slamology questions, send them through. We got a few questions here. Well, I can't. I'll bring this one up. What you think about them new D4S mids and highs and coaxes? I don't know anything about them. I haven't even seen them in person. I've seen pictures of them online. So as far as touching, experiencing them, even seeing them in my hands, I haven't. So I have no thoughts on them. Maybe one day I can get JP to send me a set over here. We'll do a video review on them, something like that. So I might hit him up and see if he wants to do that. That's a great idea. See, we got what kind of you want to ask the question?
Oh, I got you.
Let's go right here.
Charles,
interview me.
Interview. I got you. Matter of fact, I'm kidding. I'm not going to take your laptop. Charles Roach said, "What kind of airspace would an 18-inch SDN require roughly?"
18-inch SDN. So pretty much, the SDN is going to be the typical mega roll platform. All the mega rolls sizes, regardless if it's an X, Z, Nightshade, or an SDN, they're gonna use about the same, very similar enclosures. For an 18, I recommend pushing over 7 cubic feet net volume. 7.5, you're gonna be pretty good right there. Just depending on what your goals are. If you want to smash the lows like 20 hertz straight smash it, you might want to go full 7.5. If not, you can shrink. Now you can use some of the mega roll stuff in standard size enclosures, so you could use that 18 in as small as 5 foot. Most of the guys that are buying a big SDN aren't gonna want to do a traditional type of sound out of it, you're going to want to smash the lows. In that instance, you're going to want the extra volume. You're going to want to basically take your bandwidth and everything and shift our frequency response down. That's what's going to happen from the bigger enclosure. That's going to be my recommendation there.
That was my question.
Which one?
Scroll up a little bit. Right there.
Any
Kevin's
killer
question.
demos?
That's why I originally asked the demo
Oh
question.
yeah. Any killer demos of Slamology? There was a lot of killer demos up there. Unfortunately, I only got one. So I only got to get out and travel and do one demo. It was on Sunday while it was raining. I was over hanging out in the Sky High booth, and Jay Jones had their Cardio Direct demo vehicle, which I have a video up already. Excuse me. The one that has the 36.5s in it. And that was pretty rowdy for being a bunch of 6.5s. Obviously looks awesome. All them subs just spread out back there, moving in unison. Looks really badass. But it was pretty rowdy. Power was just a single salt 6, so it wasn't just some big over the top, wild, powerful build. It was honestly a nice little daily setup. No wall setup in the back, so still had room. No, it was just a cool little build. Other than that, I know there was a lot of big guys there. Obviously, Steven Duncan's there. Kicker had their big, I don't even know what the Kicker Bronco, they had that thing there. There was a lot of nice demos. I just don't get out of the booth a whole lot. I basically all day Saturday, I made it out of the booth twice. Once I had to just kind of take a break and get away for a second, just hopped on the Razor, went and did a cruise around. The second time I went to go get my wife some food. My wife travels with me to most all big shows and helps work the booth, so I went to get her some food. But yeah, other than that, I end up just getting trapped in the booth too much, and I don't get to walk around and do demos. So sorry I can't really participate and talk about how rowdy some of the big builds were.
RBF.
Yeah, we got. Oh, what's up, Big Jeff? I see Big Jeff's in here. Yep, we got plans to come on the Big Jeff podcast real soon. I believe that's 2 weeks from tonight. We'll be on the Big Jeff podcast. It's 7:30, so make sure and follow him on his social media, YouTube, and everything. You can check me out there 2 weeks from tonight, 7:30, on the Big Jeff Audio YouTube channel. Which also coming soon. I've already released kind of the teaser videos. So Big Jeff sent me one of his house brand Black Diamond 2Ks to check out. I've already got running across the bench, done some preliminary testing, working on getting some of the video finalized and edited and some things going. But there's an initial intro video up right now just showing we have the amp here. We're starting to do some testing, so there'll be some more coming. Right now, I think it's probably one of the best budget amplifiers there is out there. Yep, Jerry's got in his hands right here.
There she is.
Nice little, just good, cheap 2K. I'm not gonna have. We'll wait for the video to come out and how it performs. Just know I can already tell you 2,000 watts is in a drastic underrating. It does significantly more than that. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to the Sundown Unofficial YouTube channel, and we'll be able to make some guesses on how much power it's really gonna make. It's gonna do a good bit over 2K. But for $209, I think is a shipped price on Big Jeff Audio right now. It's a pretty insane deal to get over 2,000 watts for that inexpensive of a price tag. Oh yeah, I see Jeff commenting there. Yeah, $209.95 is its daily normal price. Here's a good question.
Oh, that's a good one. Any update on orgs at the Sundown show?
So a small update. I haven't got back to the track yet. I got too busy last week. The initial day I was supposed to go meet up with the owner of the track and talk to him. Couldn't make that appointment. Didn't make it back last week. This week's been busy. Obviously getting back to Slamology, playing catch up since we were on Friday and Monday. Everything's caught up as of today. I do hope to get to the track tomorrow and confirm some more stuff with the owner of the track. Now, here's the small update I can tell you. I talked with the owner of Iasca. Their organization. I talked with Travis a bunch at Slamology, locked in some details with him, as well as locking in the 3X sanctioning for, I think it's not just 3X and world record. Okay. So Sundown Show should be a full world record Iasca event. I got that locked in. This is preliminary, of course. I still have to lock in the real estate to get them in, but this is how much I don't want everybody to think I'm intentionally not trying to have organizations there. That is not what I meant. When I originally asked the questions, it was simply a question and for feedback from people. Like, hey, let me know how y'all feel about this. And a lot of people took it the wrong way and ran with it. So no, orgs aren't completely shut out yet. Nothing like that. I just have to work out the logistics of cramming everybody in there, as well as the show growing, getting bigger each year. We've also had we've had so many of these new alphabet orgs that I don't even know who these guys are.
Alphabet org.
It's every acronym I could think of, including guys that didn't even have a name of their org. It's like, hey, I run an org and I want to come do it. It's like, what is it? And dude didn't even give me a name. Like, well, this is what I can say definite. If you haven't been invited as an organization to Sundown Show in the past, you won't be invited this year. We're not going to add any more. I'm probably going to have to slim down and some of the previous organizations not show up, which I don't think is going to be an issue. I think there's going to be some that are, I don't know, some are just salty for some reason. But basically, I got the world record sanctioning stuff all locked in for Iasca, so I'm really hoping to have Iasca there. I talked to Billy at Base Wars, talked to him a whole bunch about what we can do to work together. So it's one of the things I'm kind of preaching to the organizations right now. If you're a type of organization, or say even just judge, that you're always kind of just being like, hey, what can you do for me? What can you do for me? And you're standing there with your hand out. Approach manufacturers in a different fashion. This is what I'm going to recommend to you. Approach manufacturers, since you want something, say, hey, this is what I can do for you to earn what I would like you to do for me. Make it a business deal, business transaction. Don't just stand there with your hand out. If you can't do anything for us, for Sundown Audio and Sundown Show, if you can't provide a value there, I'm probably not going to invite your organization to come. So that's why I went out of my way to go talk to some of the organizations that were there, including Iasca and Base Wars, and try and figure something out and just do good public relations and I guess just talking a little politics with it and figuring that out. So right now, I'm pushing heavily to have Base Wars and Iasca there at the show and find out the real estate for that. The rest is all still to be determined. I think that's all the questions we got there. You got some more questions for me, Jerry?
Do I have questions for you? I do have questions for you. First off, I was going to ask if you had already plugged your affiliate on the Big Jeff comment.
I have not. I'll go plug those details in later.
I didn't want to be that guy, but I totally was about to plug my. No,
you can plug whatever you want.
No, I can't do that to you.
All right, flip back over to YouTube. Looks like we got some questions coming in over there. Let's see.
A lot of questions.
We'll go ahead and ask. Go ahead and ask while we scroll these.
Oh, well, you know me. First thing I want to know is what's the craziest thing that happened? I saw a brief picture, maybe it was a clip or something on Facebook. There was a fire.
Oh, crazy! Okay, the fire.
Happened?
So yeah, I actually forgot all about this. There's a video on my TikTok, on the Sundown Official TikTok. I don't think I posted a video anywhere else, just on TikTok. I'll explain what was explained to me. One of the
I was gonna see if I can find it, but
yeah, one of the builds that was there at Slamology. He's cruising around in the cruise lane at the time. Now the cruise lane there, when I go out and I was cruising, I was either stopped or maybe doing 5 miles an hour. And this is important to this story, the way I'm gonna tell this. So basically, you're sometimes, unless you just get lucky, you're at almost a standstill. Mm-hmm. It's hot. It ain't crazy hot, but I bet it's probably a good mid to high 80s. It's warm. You have a vehicle that's in a cruise lane, stopped or barely moving, so you don't have any air other than just what kind of maybe circulation your radiator fan or something can create under the hood, which is also circulating heat. So this guy had a lithium battery. It was an excess power lithium. And from what it explained to me, I'm not a lithium expert, but I did do some research here. This was a type of battery that was more of a racing application. It was, part one, it was not meant for underhood use. Mm-hmm. This was not a battery that was resistant to heat, which is one of the biggest reasons it's not meant for underhood use. And this guy was using a battery that was not meant to be under hood. He had it under a hood. So now we have an issue of heat. We also have the issue of it's hot outside, you're sitting still or barely moving in a cruise lane. A battery is not meant to be hot. It's getting really hot. Mm-hmm. Now I was also told, this is hearsay, but I'll explain what was explained to me, that this guy also had multiple alternators. This was a smaller, like 6 amp hours, a smaller lithium battery. So those smaller batteries, you can't just dump tons of current into. You got to really watch what you're doing. Lithium is volatile, and there is some safety concerns with it. So you can't use this type of battery under hood. It was being used under hood. It got extra hot. I was also told, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong here, but there was multiple alternators going on. So you got potential to dump tons of current into this battery that should not be accepting tons of current. And yeah, it was just a recipe for a bad time. So when we preach that, guys, if you're going to run lithium, make sure you know what you're doing. Don't read the instructions. A lot of this stuff comes with safety precautions and instruction manuals and things for a reason. And I know we want to be dudes and you just want to take the instructions and throw them away, but not all lithium is safe. Matter of fact, the vast majority of lithium out there is not safe to run under a hood. Limitless has a battery that's under hood safe. X's Power has their Titans that are under hood safe. None of and as far as I know, and one of the Limitless guys have to correct me, but there are batteries that are rated for that, and there are batteries that are not. If you don't have a battery rated for using it under the hood, it is not safe to get hot. Don't do that. Don't put it under there. And that was some of the issue. And yeah, this thing, it went to full inferno underneath this guy's hood, stopped right in front of the MechMan tent. I heard Matt from MechMan was the one that grabbed some 1/0 cutters, ran over there, but they got it cut, got the wires cut, got the battery out, literally just tossed it on the ground right in front of the MechMan booth and called in the safety crew there at the track to come in with the fire extinguishers and get everything put out. I made it over. We started smelling the smoke. We knew something was going on. Something was on fire. Once the plumes of smoke started hitting the air, it's like, okay, this is bad. And then it was like, World Star, head over there and see what kind of footage we could get. So yeah, I will preach it over and over. Like one of the things, these words is right. I'm not a fan of C-Max. C-Max is probably one of the most volatile lithium chemistries I've seen people use in car audio.
I love C-Max.
C-Max, people have the most issues out of C-Max because C-Max is the most volatile compared to some of the other stuff. LTO seems to be a little safer, but C-Max, if you charge it too low, you're gonna have a problem. If you charge it too high, you're gonna have a problem. You charge it too much, you're gonna have a problem. You discharge it too much, you're gonna have a problem. There's so many ways C-Max can go wrong. The way I've seen guys run C-Max that have never had an issue, they usually have a bank that's double the size of than what they need. Mm-hmm. They literally have a bank twice the size of what they would actually need. So then when whatever their charging power is coming in and their output, it almost makes it impossible to abuse at that point. You're not going to dump too much current in too fast. You're not going to pull too much current out too fast, just because they oversize their bank so much. And that's the only time I've seen people just never ever have issues. But guys, just be careful with lithium. I don't run lithium on my stuff. I'm still skeptical of it. So yeah, we had a big lithium fire and that was pretty eventful.
Okay, all right. I appreciate you putting a story to the picture. That makes more sense now. Do you want me to take some from the comments or?
I don't know what we got here. What was it? I don't know. Have you seen that one build on YouTube where he has two X8s in a trunk playing 60 hertz? No, I haven't seen that build.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that build?
Mm-hmm. No. Tag us in it.
Here's a guy, Adam. It was awesome to get to meet you and your wife. Hey, good to meet you too. Here we go. Ask me this one.
All right. What would be louder, 412 SAs, we're going to assume classics or V2s, or 212 X's in a fourth order box?
I'm going to take a guess that when you say four 12-inch SAs, you mean SA classics. Those are most popular. Mm-hmm. Probably one of the best pound for pound subs in car audio history at this point. SA 12's been out, I don't know, like 15 years or something at this point.
And it won the subwoofer shootout.
It's won multiple tests, independent third-party tests. It has won for being just a great all-around subwoofer. What would be louder? Now, there's going to be two parts to this. Mm-hmm. If you're getting on a meter, if you're going for SPL and you're getting on a meter and that's what you're setting this up for, I think the 4 SA12s are going to be louder. I think they're going to meter better.
Agreed.
If your goal is to smash the lows and be more low-end oriented as far as musical, but low-end dominant, the X's are going to play lower. They're going to play lower and louder on that low end. So in that instance, if that's your goal, that's what's going to be louder. So it really just comes down to the goal of your setup, what you're trying to do. If the goal is loud, as far as SPL numbers, SA12 is going to win that contest every day. What we got? What's that one right there?
What size cubic foot enclosure do I need to run 4U6.5?
So I'm going to recommend ported. They are capable of being running sealed, but if you want the big boom, the big bass, I'm going to heavily recommend going ported. Ported for 4 of them, I just go about a quarter cubic foot a piece. 1 cubic foot for all 4 U6.5s. Send it, tune it low, tune it about 32 hertz, and I think you're going to be really happy with the outcome.
I agree with that. Sounds strong.
What is that one? SD series.
It looks like the Versus is going to be a thing that we're going to be doing a lot.
Oh, that's cool.
Edwin with 2 LCS 12s versus 1 E15.
Oh man, 2 LCS 12s versus E15. That's a good one. I
that's
don't
tight.
know. Yeah, that one's gonna be tough. I think that's a close call. It could go either way.
Power handling or cone area?
LCS 12s are monsters for what they are. 300 watts RMS, and they're just great subs. They're like $120. Yeah, gonna be a crazy. We'll go and divulge this. I don't know if it's across social media yet. So there's gonna be a crazy extreme LCS build coming very soon. Full extreme build, extreme vehicle, like full extreme vehicle with a bunch of LCSs.
What color is it?
We're not gonna tell that yet.
Oh, okay.
Just know there's gonna be extreme build coming, and it's gonna be full of LCS 10s, and we're looking to see a 180 plus. 180 plus DB, DB drag legal, so that's fully sealed, mic on the glass. We're looking to see a 180 DB with some LCS 10s. Do you think it's possible? Y'all put it in the comments if you think a 180 is plus in a hardcore extreme build with a bunch of LCS 10s.
I'm gonna get a lot of LCSs, aren't I?
I think it's gonna be possible. I think we're gonna see a 180.
I would have to agree. I think if I think this is what I think it is, I think a 180 is definitely doable.
It's motivating me. This is not my build, but I do believe I'm going to travel and attempt to be a part of this build when it takes place. So I'll be documenting a lot of footage on it, and much footage will be coming to the Sundown official YouTube channel and TikTok and all the social medias. So make sure you follow us, like and subscribe, and all that cool stuff. So yeah, I do plan on making a trip, going and helping with this build, and being part of it, documenting it all for social media, and doing a big advertisement push with the LCSs. They're great subs, especially for the money. LCS 10s are $119, I think, to the customer over the counter. So they're pretty badass subs. This is actually motivating me, where I don't know the current plans going forward with Project SPL.
Oh, shit.
And I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with that build, since it kind of got kicked out of DB Drag. Figure out what I want to do. Do I want to make it a demo build? Do I want to just use it to highlight, products, as far as still do some SPL stuff, but do it with certain products where I can just make things interchangeable? But it's making me lean towards, what if I pulled the 2 18-inch tubes out right now and just did a wall of LCSs in there, like LCS 10s or 12s. Just do the math, figure out how many I could fit, but be it's 10s or 12s, and cram a bunch in there. I think I could fit 16 10s. I really think I can.
I think you should fit 16 10s. We should do that.
At least 12. It'll be 12-ish, 12 plus 10s. Because I can go 4 wide super easy. I've got 48 inches of width. I've got about 37 of height, but I can play with staggering them a little bit with that height. Either way, I can fit at least 12, maybe fit some in between. So if I can do 4, 4, and 4, another 3. Anyway.
All right.
What do you think? Should I throw a bunch of LCS 10s in the Blazer? The Project SPL?
Of course you should. Pretty sure I said that yesterday.
All right, so it might happen. If y'all think I should do that, put that in the comments. Should we do a massive LCS 10 build in Project SPL? Oh yeah, we definitely got some more. My guy is the face of Sundown, and I hope he is very well paid for all he does. I guess you're talking about me.
I was about to say, I like that guy.
Hey, what's up, Miles? See you in here. Highest SPL on E Series. Man, I don't know anybody's done some super crazy stuff with the E Series. I'm trying to remember, I'm pretty sure when I did the single E15 in the Jeep, I think I got around 156s out of that. Dang. With a single 15 in the Jeep, in the Magic Box. I know when I ran E12s in my old school mini truck Blazer, so I had an old slammed mini truck Blazer. I ran 4 E12s on a single SEV 7500 back in the day, and that would do 156s. Like, that was a pretty rowdy build. Good daily build. Still seat my whole family, would seat 5 people. Cargo area, just standard street build, and would do 156s all day long off E12s in a single amp.
I like where Kevin's comments go. That one right there.
Yes, it's possible.
Would that be in an old U-Haul box truck, perhaps?
Well,
instead of in the Blazer?
I don't know. Is he talking about? I don't know what Billy's talking about.
You know which one he's talking about.
Right now, the box truck is on hiatus. The box truck's on permanent hiatus until I figure out a new path to go for it. Things went wonky with it. It was supposed to be a SEMA build. We're not doing a SEMA booth this year, so that kind of stopped that. I was also going to build it to compete with you basically travel, do DB drag shows, compete. Well, when DB drag started adjusting their rules, now it just kind of I don't know the right word for it. It kind of pushed me off. Where I was like, it turned me off. I was like, all right, you guys are kind of going backwards, changing rules. Now I'm not going. I just didn't feel right doing a build. I'm in the middle of a build, and they're in the middle of changing rules on me while I'm creating a build. It's like, best case scenario, I'm gonna wait till the rules are 100% solidified, and there's no chance of them changing on me again while I'm building something. And other than that, I don't like organizations going backwards in rules. You can't do that. You shut people out when you do that. You can't allow us to build to one spot and then go backwards and think we're just gonna rip Dender out of our truck. I'm not doing it. I'm not ripping Dender out of my truck, and I'm certainly not gonna let you drill holes in my truck to verify it. It's not happening. I'd rather just not compete. It's at that level. I've always said I'll compete as long as I'm having fun. The day I don't have fun is the day I stop competing. Well, the day organizations start going backwards on rules and making builds that I've done that have been legal for years, and all of a sudden it's not legal, and all of a sudden now they're going to drill holes in my stuff and want me to chisel Dender out, nah, that's not fun, and I'm not going to do it. It's as simple as that.
I didn't know it was as extreme as drilling holes. I didn't think it was that
That's how they say they're going to verify Dender going forward. They're going to try and poke holes or drill holes through your Dender and measure it that way, which I think is the dumbest thing possible. I strongly disagree with, like I put it, you're not going to drill holes in my build. If I build something, I'll be damned if I'm going to let somebody poke and drill holes into it. I don't care. It was way easier when we had talks in DB Drive before. The rules were shifting to a point to make it easier for judges to judge installs. They're now going backwards that again. Now it's becoming more difficult for judges to classify and judge installs, and I disagree with that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
See, 180 build with LCS 10s is definitely possible. I think it is. I think it is, and
for sure,
we're going to find out.
For sure.
All right, let's click back over to the YouTubes here.
The YouTubes. Looks like we got some more.
How badass is the Salt 500.4? Bro, Salt 504 is a tank. That thing is it's for a 4-channel, 2-ohm stable. That thing's a monster. I don't even know if I don't have an amp dyno video up yet. I need to get one of them up. I've actually got right there is a 204. I started to do the amp dyno video on the Salt 204 this week, and I've got a 504 right next to it somewhere right here. So I don't know if I ever posted that, guys. There's so many videos I've done, and I'm just sitting on footage that I haven't put out yet. But yeah, I'll make sure if that Salt 504 amp dyno video isn't out, I'll be getting it out very, very soon. What else we got here? What is that one?
Which one? What is the max power of an LCS 12? Just curious. Don't want to overpower it.
So if I remember right, there's a video on the Sundown official YouTube. We took an LCS 12 and we did the Will It Blow. And I'm pretty sure at the time we ran 500 watts or so. We did basically a test tone with, I want to say it was 500 watts. You go check the video out and it's all there. We went live. It was just 5 minutes straight of test tone, and we clamped power the whole time. And I believe we did 5 minutes straight at 500 watts. So it's a 300 watt rated sub. We did 500 or so on it for 5 minutes straight, and after that we just stopped. Like, look, if the sub will handle it for 5 minutes straight on a tone, it's going to handle it. That's all I know. We test a lot of subs like that. We did the Will It Blow series on the E, the LCS, the SA12, and yeah, guys, I know if you're doing something thermally to one of those coils, you're doing something wrong, because we literally have videos of us playing at least 50% or sometimes double rated power. Videos of us doing that nonstop for 5 minutes straight. So, and it's something, what started that was other manufacturers said it was not possible. They said if you had a 500 watt rated sub, it was only supposed to be matched with a 500 watt amp. And then once you have your reactive load, your impedance rise, that's how they match up together. So a 500 watt sub was only rated to match with a 500 watt amp, but it didn't actually have to handle 500 watts. Well, we don't do that here.
Is that what that whole CES 2000?
That is exactly what that was.
Okay. See, I had a rough idea of what it was, but I didn't understand exactly how it worked and why I didn't like it. But now that makes more sense.
Yeah, there really are companies out there that rate things like that. They say, hey, you buy our 500 watt sub and you match it to our 500 watt amp. Under the assumption that 500 watt amp is never actually going to make 500 watts. So their 500 watt sub never has to actually take 500 watts. The problem is if somebody buys that sub and they run a different amp that says 500 watts, but it's, maybe it's a Salt amp and it does more than what. Anyway, don't do that. Don't rate your stuff like that. We don't rate our stuff like that. If we tell you A subwoofer will handle 500 watts. It'll handle 500 watts indefinitely. Like you can pretty much put it on there, play it, and leave it. And we've tested them all at 50% to 100% over their rated power on test tones. Like just 5 minutes on tones. So we know if you burn a voice coil, you thermal coil, man, you did something really wrong to it.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, we hooked up the LCS to a light socket for 1 minute. Remember? That's on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I don't remember, but it's very possible. I got a bad memory.
You got another one of those?
I got a bunch of these.
Did you peep my cup?
I did. It's got the unofficial cup. All right. What's some more of the questions? Let's run through your questions talking about Slamology, Jerry.
Okay. So the bike and the razors. I know y'all were loading stuff up. What all did y'all take? What's on it? What was the crowd reaction? Did you shoot anybody down with the tubes?
We have the company high lifter. So we have a basically it's a 4-seater Polaris Razor high lifter edition. It's lifted, a lot of work, a lot of suspension work, big wheels and tires. It's got 24s and 37-inch tires, Moto Havoc tires on there, massive sound system. It does have an actual car audio head unit installed. We got a full Pioneer touchscreen in there. We run what I call them the Baja pods. So we got Baja lighting style pods on the front, but they're actually our BPS. Sundown Power Sports BPS 6.5s. On the back, we have the bigger 8-inch pods. We even have some of our got a little band pass in it right now for some subwoofers. All Sundown Power Sports stuff. It's just a pretty nice little build. So we took that. It looks badass. Sounds great. Very loud for what it is. Consider it's basically 4 6.5s on the front, 4 8s on the back, and that's it. It's honestly really simple for what it is. But it's pretty loud. It gets attention wherever it goes. It's cool to take that thing out at shows and just cruise around in it because it's just a good looking ride, being a Polaris Razor. Now we also have my Razor. It's a turbo model, four-seater with a lot of work done to it.
It's street legal.
It is, yeah. It's a lot of work done in every which way. It is also street legal. I currently run 24-inch wheels and low pro tires on it, street tires, just so I can drive around town. I drive that thing everywhere. We actually took it out. That's when we got there and unloaded Friday. We took that thing out. I drove it to the hotel that night. We drove it around, drove it back. Yeah, I literally drive that thing everywhere. It's a blast. I currently run 4 Vex 10s, which are Wesley what's sitting right here. I built my own pods because I couldn't find any good 10-inch pods that I like, so I built my own from scratch. Currently running 4 Vex 10s on there off a Sia 3500. I have 8 GT tweeters because it's meant to be a little more screamerish. So I run the GTs versus ETs. I prefer the ET tweeters for their sound. They do sound better and they get plenty loud. But if you want to scream, GT tweeters is where it's at. So that's a really basic setup. Just the 4 pods on the back, 4 pods, 4 10s, 8 tweeters, Sia 3500 on the pods. I've got a SAM 150.2 on there. I've got a full DSP on there, tablet installed, touchscreen. I can play YouTube driving down the road. It's just a nice little ride. Gets attention everywhere it goes. Then we brought Brandon's motorcycle. So we got his Harley bagger. He just finished up the bag install on it. So he's got BPS 6.5s in the front fairing, just a pair up there. He just got done installing a pair of BPS 8s, coaxials, in the back, and added a set of Vex 8s in the back. Everything's tucked away. He's running a Limitless lithium, where they're motorcycle batteries. Running one of those on there, and it's fairly loud for what it is. There's bigger, better motorcycles out there. They got bigger installs, but I would almost say pound for pound versus how little cone area and power is on that thing. It'll definitely hold its own. It sounds great. Should be some videos on in my Facebook reels and probably in my TikTok, the Sundown official TikTok. There's some videos up there of when he first got it done last week, right before Slamology. We did one little quick demo video with it, but yeah, those things get attention everywhere they go. We're dudes. We got toys. We love toys. And we got a whole garage full of toys back there, 4-wheelers and motorcycles and stuff. So it comes with it. Fun stuff. Other than that, we took every new subwoofer we've got. I had we almost broke our table.
I was gonna say, tell me about the table.
So I don't know if the pictures are circulated yet, but so the first time I put a bunch of our big subs on a table, one of our subs actually, the plastic of the table itself, it like sunk in. So now when we take tables out, we always cover them in wood. So I had 2 sheets of wood on top of the table. The legs broke made of steel. We broke a set of legs. So then I put sawhorses under it. We were prepared. We had the sawhorses, the table, 2 sheets of wood. The We started at biggest to smallest. It was SDDN, Nightshade, ZV6, X, then you. So ZV6 is dead center of the table.
Oh.
Next thing I know, I'm looking around and it's like the table looked like it was sagging 6 inches in the middle.
Like the wax?
Yeah, it was bad. It was smiling. It was definitely smiling. Sagged about 6 inches in the middle, even with 2 layers of wood on top of it. And that's birch hardwood. It buckled it. We had a lot of weight on that table.
That's like what, 400, 500 pounds?
It was a good bit. But yeah, that ZV6 dead center, the table was not happy. We ended up having to readjust the subs. Basically got the ZV6 on one corner, the SDD on another corner, U15 in the middle, since that's the lightest sub we had on the table, and help lighten up that stuff. And saved our table. We got back. First thing Brendan did was buy a handful of new tables. How about an all U6.5 build? Jeez.
Oh, the amount of holes you'd have to cut.
That just sounds awful, just trying to wire that and cut it. I mean, props to whoever wants to do it.
That sounds terrible.
I would highly recommend J Jones build up there, that Car Direct build with all the 6.5s. I'd love to see it with some U6.5s in there. It'd be cool. I just don't want to be the one to have to build that.
Yeah, I wouldn't even want to wire that if I had an enclosure. But how cool would that be?
Oh, that's an easy question right there.
How cool would that movement be in unison with those mega W's?
Oh, I would love to see it. Matter of fact, that sounds like a good video idea. I might drag a big handful of those U6.5s in here, like line about a table full of them. We'll just roughly wire a table full of them free air and just make some video of that. I bet that'd be a crazy video.
Just wall my truck with 20 of them and call it a day.
Here, let's read what this guy's saying right here.
What's that? For a straight up SPL vehicle, which 218s would you run? Compact Neos, U's, or SDDNs?
Well, this is kind of a no-brainer considering I have one of the loudest 218 SPL vehicles in the world right now.
Neos, hands down.
Yeah, Neo V3s. Neo V3s hand down. If anyone ever says SPL is a goal, Neo V3s all the way.
I have to admit, the UV2 or the UV2 or UV1s would be good options as backup.
Yeah, especially if you're on more of a budget.
Yeah.
Neo V3s are pricey. They are expensive.
I've done
no doubt about it. But they're expensive for a reason. They work. They're good. Sundown Compact Neos have been probably right now, especially over the past few years since this come out, been the most winningest sub in SPL history. Like, from the time they were released, they took over SPL competition, and they're kicking ass everywhere. They definitely, you go to finals, DB Drag finals. I was there last year. Geez, at least 90% of the builds there was all compact Neos. Like, they work, and people run them for a reason. People have tested them versus many other things. So I'm not going to tell you it's the best. I believe it's the best. That's my opinion on it. But yeah, everybody that's tested them, I think is there's a reason everybody's running compact Neo. So if SPLs you're concerned, compact Neo all the way. If you can't quite, if the Neo V3 is out of your price range, V2s are all over. I'm seeing a bunch of them for sale fairly cheap now since the V3s come out. Mm-hmm. Go for a set of V2s. If that's still out of your price range, man, the U series UV1s just get gnarly. I had 4 U18s before I went hardcore to the 218 build. I did 4 just bone stock U18s, V1s when they first come out, pulled them out the box, and I believe my best number with them was 168 before I started having cone issues. And that was the only time I ever had cone issues, when the older, very first run U18 cones. I shredded a couple of those. We have made significant improvements to those cones since then. The new cones should not have any issue at all. Matter of fact, that's something I probably need to do. Since I ain't been messing much with Project SPL, I might pull my Neo V3s out, grab a set of these new V2 U18s, and throw a set in there and just beat on them. Just crank them until they blow, until they blow up, or we do a 170 plus with them.
I'd like to see the V2 tops on the V3, or the UV2 tops on the Neo V3 motor. I got hung up for a second.
Yeah, we'll just switch it. The main difference is gonna be your frame.
Oh, you'd also have the spider landing as well, wouldn't you? Or
yeah, but you don't need it. You don't always need that extra spider landing in SPL. I don't run huge SPL spiders myself. I think I'm running a 9 1/4 spider right now. When it comes to SPL, you don't quite need that really, really massive spider landing. So, as far as SPL goes, I don't predict seeing any gain going from basically with the main difference being a UV1 frame to a UV2 frame. Codes and all that's gonna still be the same. But I get what you're going. The new frames with the extra ribs, the extra fins on them, they look a little more aggressive. They look pretty badass. So they definitely have the look going for them. But yeah, look for that video coming soon. We're gonna throw a pair of 18s, pair of U V2 18s in the Blazer and crank on them. I still got 4 Salt 8s in there, so we should have plenty of power on tap.
Can I vape on a live? Is that a thing?
Yeah, you can vape. I don't care. Are you going to do the amp dyno on the Cab M4? I don't know. Kyle did the live video with me a few weeks ago. I know it got brought up a bunch about a Cab M4. If those guys want a dyno amp, we can dyno an amp. I'm not gonna beg anybody to do it. That's more up to them. I put it out there. If somebody needs me to do bench testing, I have done bench testing for other manufacturers, for other people, even just friends that I know said, hey, can you check this amp out for me? I'm like, dude, sure, bring it in. We'll throw it on the bench. We'll do a whole barrage of testing here. That's how this came about. Got to talk with Big Jeff, and yeah, he sent me one of these to check out here, so that's what we're going to do. So if anybody needs, pause for it. We're live.
Oh.
If you need me, just say so.
I do. I need a next day shipping label.
Okay.
Cool.
Bro, we got 5 minutes. Hey, talk to him, Jerry. Let me go print this label real quick.
Talk to him. I don't know how to
All right,
talk
Jerry,
to
you're on the
people.
spot.
I don't know how to talk to people.
This will take me 30 seconds.
Oh man, if it takes more than 30 seconds, we're just gonna panic in the live or something. Let's go through some questions. All right. Which of your subs should I look at if I'm going for sound quality? For sound quality, I always recommend the SD4 series. That's the woofer that we would push more toward the SQ side of things. They're shallow mounts. They work really well in smaller enclosures and sealed as well. Let's see. If you want a little bit more bump, but still want to stay in a small space and get good sound quality in a sealed enclosure, SLDs and the new SMLs, of course. Let's see what else we got here. Anything popping up in yard sale soon? That's a Derek question. I have no idea what's going on with yard sale. Sweet. SIA 8000s. Okay. We don't have a confirmed ETA. Last I was told, we were looking around late August. And then let's switch over to, where are the other questions? Derek, where are the other questions?
Make something up, Jerry.
I'm running out of ideas. I fixed it. Oh yeah, Ray. Dave's mustache is definitely the key to his power. Is the upgrade from the XV3 to the ZV6 worth it? Yes, definitely yes. Oh, there's so much tech I can go into that, but we only have like 3 more minutes. Highly, Matt TB. I noticed that DDN 18s didn't appear epoxied in a few recent Facebook posts. Is this optional or no longer standard? Don't know that one. That one's outside of my wheelhouse. I handle warranty returns personally. Let's see what else we got. Darian, good to see you again, buddy. Did we already cover this one? 2 X12s on a Salt 8 and S10. What should I do for electrical as far as extra batteries or lithium? When powering a Salt 8, that's a lot of amperage draw. So first thing I'm always going to suggest is alternator, big 3. Those are your standard electrical upgrades. After that, lithium. How many amp hours? I'm not 100% sure. Jesus, that was longer than 30 seconds.
That was not that long.
That was like 7 minutes at least. Where did
That was not that long.
Did you spawn in extra beer?
Yeah.
What was that?
I've been drinking slow because I've been talking.
Oh.
What are you on about? Something about lithium.
Oh, I was going over Brandon Green's question to the best of my ability in panic mode.
Did you finish?
We had just got to big 3, alternator, and then we were just about to go into lithium. And when it comes to amp hours, I like to go overkill, so I don't know exactly what would be recommended to power that in that application. But that solid 8 would definitely be enough, if
yeah,
not too much for those 12s.
Well, so the first thing I would mention, Salt 8, we rated 8,000 watts. That's a 12,000 watt amp. Let's be blunt about it. There's plenty of Dino out there. Here's the downside of underrating stuff. Somebody buys a Salt 8, like, oh, it's 8,000 watts. I'm going to get electrical good enough for 8,000 watts, and it's actually a 12,000 watt amp. Not prepare for that thing being a 12,000 plus watt amp. Overkill with electrical. I love doing a strong base on all my builds. If I'm doing a build, it's going to be deadened properly, and it's going to have extra overkill electrical from the beginning. Now, I'm not a lithium expert, so when it comes to just saying how many amp hours of lithium, I'm not the guy. I can't do it. I'll proudly say there's things that I'm not good at, and that's one of them. But S10s, those I don't know if you got a 2.2 or 4.3. If you got a 4.3, there's plenty of alternator options there. Even doing dual alts. Actually, the front end of that motor is identical to the 350s on the big square body Suburbans, Tahoes, and things. So you can do dual alt setups. They're actually fairly easy to do. I've done some of them before. But that's it. I would just go for what you can afford. As much of it. That's the best advice I can give you. Sorry, I can't be more help with lithium. It's not lithium ain't my bag.
No.
I was just going through some of these old comments. Hank did a lot with the LCS as well. Yeah, when Hank had the Fiorino, it's over at Directronics now, last I heard. But yeah, Hank put some LCS 12s in the Fiorino, and I believe he did like a 167 or something stupid at one point. At least a 165. He did off some LCS 12s. It was pretty retarded what happened there. What's other? The word sundown means 4 times rated power. Yeah,
That's a common theory.
That's about it. When are the Saya 8000 coming? I don't know.
August.
Rough ETA.
The rough ETA of August.
There's no confirmed ETA on the Saya 8Ks. They are in the works, but they I don't have a final. So typically when stuff's in production, we know it's in production. We have rough ETAs is how long production will take and how long shipping will take. When they leave production and they hit shipping, that's when they come across my desk. It's like, okay, I have confirmed shipping. Even some of the stuff, I'll have confirmation that it's out of production, it's into shipping, but I won't have quite a confirmation of, hey, it's shipped here and due here. So I don't like to give any hardcore dates until I get that kind of finalized information. Right now, I don't have that yet, but yeah, we'll fingers crossed by the end of the year, we'll have Saya 5Ks and 8Ks in stock.
Yes.
What? Here you go. Answer this question, there.
I don't have an answer for that question.
That's tech support all day right
That
there.
is not a tech support question at all. That is above me.
So
I handle tech support overflow.
yeah, we're on Facebook. Brian Piercy, do y'all use square root of watts times ohms to set target voltage for your mids and highs amps? Dude, you confused me. I don't think that's a thing. So you can do. I believe you just mean square root of your wattage. That's the old school mentality. Like if you had a 2,500 watt amp, 2,500 watt amps is basically 50 amps, 50 volts. So you can do square root of that. Generically would be a 50 volt output setting. Now it's not ideal and it's usually a safe setting, but square root of watts times ohms, is that how it works?
I wasn't familiar with it as far as like the ohms part. That's where I got lost.
So basically the square root method is super old school. Nobody uses that anymore. I've never heard of it being square root watts times ohms. I don't know. I don't know if I'm confused, you're confused, but the square root method does work if you have if you buy a solid 8, you think it's 8,000 watt amp, you take the square root of 8,000 watts, you're not going to get nowhere near full power because it's not actually 8,000 watt amp, it's 12,000 watt amp. So you got to do the square root of 12,000 watts. Even then, that number can vary depending on something as simple as your electrical. If you don't have good electrical, you're going to clip way earlier. So there's a lot of extra variables there. The best thing I recommend, and I'm going to take a guess, if you're using a Sundown amplifier, the clip light on the remotes works great. Use it to your advantage, and that'll help stay there. There's also the issue when setting amps properly. Different music is recorded at different levels. I have seen, and especially if with a lot of the rebase music that guys run nowadays, this rebaser is going to record at a different volume level than this other rebaser. So if you could change tracks, and literally your clipping could come in at a different volume. So those are all things you have to pay attention to. The unfortunate truth is it's damn near impossible to have a one perfect gain setting. It's just you set it and forget it, and that's the most perfect gain setting in the world. The rough truth is that's almost impossible to do. The best gain setting is going to be a safe, conservative gain setting. Set it at a level that even at full tilt or whatever you're playing, you will not induce clipping or distortion in any way. That's the best thing people want to do, but nobody likes that because everybody wants to squeeze that every last little ounce of wattage they can. They're going to ride that thing till that clipping light starts flickering. They're going to back it. Like basically they're going to light it up and they're going to back it a hair like, all right, it's barely flickering. I think it'll be okay. That's what people are going to do. So
I get that a lot in tech support.
yeah. Oh no, what? Damn it, my comments just jumped on me. Where was it at?
I don't know what happened.
They jumped. That's it.
Yep, that's it. That was the next one.
Ray. What's up, Ray? Is Dave's mustache truly the key to his power?
Yes.
All right, so I got a funny story.
And the van.
I got a funny story, Jerry. You should have been with us. Saturday night, we finally get done. We didn't leave the show till late because we had to pack everything up. Go back to the hotel. We all shower, clean up. We're gonna try and go out. We're trying to find some local spots to eat. It's already pushing close to 10 o'clock, so places are closing down. Everything up there apparently closes at 10. We find this bar that's open. They say they got food. We go in there, we sit down. They're like, oh no, our kitchen closes at 9. We're literally getting there like right at 10. So we come across this bar that's open and not too far around the corner. So it's a pool hall, bar, dance club. We didn't realize what we were getting into until we get there, and we're getting patted down walking to the door. But there's these sides, about 6 of us or so, I think. No, it's maybe more than that. But there's a decent little handful of us, so we start going in, and they're like, oh, we're getting patted down to go in this place. Okay, cool. So we get in there, and of course Dave's in there with his mustache and his fucking cut, and it's like instantly everybody's like, this guy's a cop. You can almost hear the background go, the cops are here. So it was all just Dave in there with his stash and his buzz cut, looking like the police at this bar. We're just trying to get a sandwich, but apparently Dave got the best 1 pound special burger of his life. You have to, hey, if you see, talk to Ray, ask him about, or talk to Dave, ask him about that, Ray. The best burger he got at a random spot, random club up in Indy. It was a club. It was a club.
I gathered that when you said there was dancing involved and y'all got patted down.
We should have known. We literally got frisked coming in the door.
Yeah, that's
it's like, hold on, what kind of club is this?
That's not the.
We were just trying to get some food. I'm just trying to get some chicken tenders. Oh wow! Here's a question for you, Jerry. You know it's this easy. Let me know what time we go.
Oh,
it's after 5, so we're probably gonna start winding it down. Is the upgrade from XV3 to ZV6 worth it?
Yes, I actually made that upgrade in my personal vehicle. Let's see. As far as, can you give me more information? Like, what exactly is it that you're asking? As far as, is it better? Because with the ZV6, and correct me if I'm wrong, the ZV6 has a stiffer suspension stock. Is that correct? It does. So if you're going,
it also has a lot more motor force to accommodate for that stiffer suspension.